Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. No decisions yet on if Haitians will be charged for illegal entry. Head of the Portland Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby says a team is waiting word from the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICO to determine whether the 37 Haitians who arrived on the island by boat this week will be charged with illegal entry. The Haitians arrived on the shores of the Boston Beach in Portland on Monday. Addressing a sitting at the Portland Municipal Corporation, Superintendent Darby said attempts are being made to determine if any Haitians are national security interests. Superintendent Darby commended residents of Portland for assisting the Haitians on their arrival. He warned, however, that for future incidents, persons should protect themselves from security risk and possible exposure to diseases.
They are being housed rather at a facility in St. Mary, and as we speak, the process of interviews by the Passport Immigration and Customs Agency continues. CTOC also did interviews, and they are finished with the interviews. I still await the message from CTOC to see if there's anybody among the group that is of national security interest, whether in Jamaica or in their home country of Haiti. The citizens who first encountered the Haitians did a commendable humanitarian job by assisting them with food and water upon arrival. However, I caution that if there's a repeat of this kind of mass arrival, that the citizens be careful of the risk of persons among the group who might be armed, because we all know of the guns for drug trade that has existed between Haiti and Jamaica for decades, and also the possibility of the risk of infectious diseases, so they should properly mask themselves if they are interacting with them before the authorities reach.
Meanwhile, Chief Medical Officer for Portland, Dr. Sharon Lewis, said the Haitians have been tested for various diseases, including malaria and COVID-19. She added that the St. Mary Health Department has taken over responsibility of the Haitians' medical well-being.
They were processed at the Port Antonio Health Center and received aid from member agencies of the Parish Disaster Committee. They received medical checks and were for the most part in good health. Some of them had mild to moderate dehydration and other conditions. Those with respiratory symptoms were all tested for COVID-19, and we are glad to say that all 10 results were negative, and we received those results on the 11th of July. After the completion of their medical checks, they were transported on the night of the 10th, the same day that they arrived, to St. Mary, and there they will continue to be monitored and treated by the health team of that parish. I'm happy to report as well that all 37 of them have since returned negative malaria results as well.
No need to panic, stated Tufton. Despite the recent increase in the positivity rate of the coronavirus, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton is urging caution against public. He said individuals should always be vigilant and concerned about the possible spread of the disease, and that the ministry remains committed to deal with the threat, but the danger is nowhere it used to be. I don't want us to panic. I would like to discourage those who pervade a sense of panic where it is not necessary at this point in time. COVID has always been among us, and we have been seeing a decline in the virus a year or so ago, the minister stated, while delivering the keynote address at the handover of the upgraded Mandeville Comprehensive Health Center in Manchester on July 13. Noting that Jamaica and the rest of the global community experienced 2 years of serious challenges with the virus, Dr. Tufton pointed out that 3,500 lives have been lost in Jamaica, and while some people are still affected by the illness, most Jamaicans are coping and overcoming the risk that is associated with COVID. Over time, the virus and the threat that it represents has to a large extent subsided, even though it still remains in the population. There are some people who are more vulnerable than others, and there are some persons who are easy to pick up the virus, stated Dr. Tufton. The ministry is encouraging individuals to observe the infection prevention and control protocols. Persons who are vulnerable, such as the elderly and those with comorbidities, are still at risk and should practice hand washing, hand sanitization, the wearing of masks, and being consistent with sneezing and coughing etiquette, especially when in public spaces. Further, all eligible persons should take the influenza and COVID-19 vaccine, especially the vulnerable populations, which include the elderly, the young, pregnant women, and healthcare workers. Task force being set up to develop policy on artificial intelligence. Minister with responsibility for digital transformation, Senator Dr. Diana Morris Dixon, is in the process of setting up a task force to develop a policy on artificial intelligence. In her maiden state of the national debate in the Senate, Dr. Morris Dixon noted that the task force will identify opportunities for the adoption of AI technology in Jamaica, among other things. She further explained that it will seek to address concerns that citizens have raised about the technology. The senator added that the task force will seek to identify potential risks with the implementation and use of AI technology.
I understand that there are real concerns about generative AI, and this is why I'm in the process of forming an artificial intelligence task force, whose main function will be to conduct research in the area and provide an evidence-based foundation for the development of a national AI policy. The task force research will comprehensively analyze the current state of AI in Jamaica, including research and development activities, and there's already quite a bit of AI already being deployed in some of our entities in Jamaica. It will look at adoption levels and challenges faced by various sectors of the economy. The task force is also expected to identify opportunities for the adoption of AI technologies, potential areas of economic growth and development, and potential social impacts. We must understand the risks and implement the necessary safeguards to allow us to respond to the rapid rate of technology change and to ultimately scale with confidence.
Conditions for marital rape to be eliminated in law. Eliminating the conditions for marital rape are among matters that will be addressed in the amendments to be made to the Offences Against the Person Act. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, explained that when the act was passed in 2009, it provided for conditions to be met in order for a wife to claim rape. There are specific things that allow you to be able to claim that you were raped in marriage. It should not be that a married woman has less rights than an unmarried woman. Both of us should have the rights over our body, and that is what we agreed on by the Joint Select Committee, which deliberated on the act. So, when the act is amended, it will delete all the preconditions for a claim of marital rape. Again, it's about respect and the rights over our bodies, she noted. The minister was addressing a regional conference on women's political and parliamentary leadership at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston on Wednesday, where she outlined legislative measures being undertaken to protect women. Among the conditions attached of the offence of marital rape in the Act that are, the spouses have separate and live separate, and a part is defined by the Matrimonial Court Act, there is in existence a separation agreement, divorce or proceeding to nullify the marriage have been filed, acts or threat of physical violence, harm or injury are imposed on a spouse before or during sex, the spouse knowingly suffers from a sexually transmitted disease. Senator Johnson-Smith said the amendment to the act will also include an offense of stalking so that women are protected outside of relationships. If you are harassed by a stalker, that offense does not exist and it needs to exist within the Offense Against the Person Act so that the Cybercrime Act can criminalize it. So, whether you're in a relationship or not, if you're being stalked and you are in fear, that is an actionable crime that can be prosecuted and you can get a protective order. You can prevent the greater crimes that usually come as a result of stalking, which include rape or murder, she outlined. Senator Johnson-Smith further cited the Sexual Harassment Act, which is now in effect. She commended the efforts of the Bureau of Gender Affairs in working through this year of transition since the act was passed to try to share some of the information about it. I look forward to even greater public sensitization to ensure that the simplified information is made clear and that people understand that nobody is outlawing flirting, but when an advance is unwanted, it is unwanted, Senator Johnson-Smith stated. The legislation addresses concerns about sexual harassment that are employment-related, occurring in institutions, or arising in the landlord and tenant relationship. The Sexual Harassment Act contains provision for dealing with sexual harassment in the workplace, schools, correctional institutions, places of safety, nursing homes, medical and psychiatric facilities, among other places. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification